Hello, everyone. Let's see, fix the chats. All righty, let's get the chat going. All right, got the chat going. If you guys want to send me a quick message here in the chat, make sure it's working. Tell me where you are tuning in from, and we'll get started right away. And I am tuning in from Missouri, Kansas City area. Hey, Amanda from Canada. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. So Texas from Melanie, welcome. Got a lot of people trickling in. This is awesome. We're going to get started right away. Hey, Peyton from West Virginia. Hey, Margaret from Alabama. Hey, Dalee from Florida. Hey, Debbie from Florida as well. Great to see you guys on here. Ronnie, hey, from Sacramento. All right. Corsica from Nashville. Like that name. Very pretty. Welcome, welcome. So now keep those coming in and let me know if you guys can see the screen okay. I want to make sure, put a thumbs up in the chat if you can see the screen. And then that way I know it's working all right. We're going to dive in right away and get started for you guys. All right. Okay, thank you, Ronnie. You can see the screen. Fantastic. All right, welcome to the webinar, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning on this lovely Thursday. I'm excited to dive in with you guys and show you all how you can take an exciting journey into business ownership and get to work from home if you don't already, or even from the road or wherever you want, and be able to achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences that you have. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I am a CPA and I'm a mom of 5. And I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after my family experienced all of the wonderful things that happened to us once I started my at-home bookkeeping business back in 2015. So I was able to work part-time from home and grow my business, even though I had a 6-month-old on my hip all the time, 2 elementary school age children. And I actually was able to grow it fairly quickly and easily. And I'll show you exactly what that timeline looks like here on an upcoming slide. But I was actually able to get enough clients that covered all of our family's monthly expenses within about 7 months of creating my LLC and opening the doors. And that allowed my husband to be able to quit his corporate job, which then opened up a ton of new opportunities and a ton more time for our family as well. He was actually able to retire on Christmas Eve of 2015, which was a really fun, awesome Christmas present for us. And since then, I was able to continue to have a thriving business, even as we decided to grow our family and accidentally had twins. And through that time, I nursed the twins for 2 years. We moved to a different city. I started homeschooling my older children. And all of that, during all of that time, we continued to grow our business, made more money than the two of us had ever made in our combined salaries before. And between the two of us, we didn't even work more than a 40-hour work week. In fact, most of it was like a 35-hour-a-week job to make the kind of money that, more money than we had ever made between both of our corporate jobs. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what that looks like and what that could look like for your family. And then I hired somebody to come work with us as we wanted to continue to grow and scale our bookkeeping business. And she actually gave me inadvertently the idea to start the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So once I started that in April of 2019, I saw such a huge demand for it, decided to go ahead and sell my bookkeeping business and focus solely on helping other families achieve the same success and the same lifestyle that we were able to achieve. So we've been running this academy since April of 2019. We've helped thousands of families be able to work less, make more, and build a virtual recession-proof business that is not only in high demand, but can be done completely from home. So our mission at the Bookkeeper Academy is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is what we stand for. Our motto is actually have your cake and eat it too, because we want to show you guys you can make the kind of money that you want and need and strive for in your life, but you can also live the lifestyle you want, be the parent you want, spend as much quality time with your kids as you want. So drop a heart emoji in the chat if this sounds like something that you resonate with, you would like your family to have your cake and eat it too and be able to benefit from these kinds of things. Awesome. Love all of the heart emojis. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Awesome. So I'm curious who all we have attending today. There is a lot of people on here, and I would love to know if you've been on a webinar with me in the past. Drop a number 1 in the chat. And if you are new here, drop a 2 so I can see kind of who we've got here and maybe what some of you guys might know. Wow, lots of 2 people. I see a couple of 1s. Welcome back if you are returning. So many new people. Fantastic. Fantastic. Welcome to our webinar for everybody that is new. I'm going to go over a lot of information here, and I'm going to stay on until all of the questions are answered. Just so some of you, hey, Michael, just so some of you know, sometimes these webinars last until about 12:30, which is about 2.5 hours. So if you're able to stay on through the whole thing, that's fantastic. I'll be able to answer every single question. If you've got to leave and hop back on, that's okay too. And if you only have a short amount of time, we will send you the link to this recording once it's done and uploaded, but you're also welcome to, hop back on again. And for those of you that can stay with me through the end, just know I will be here to answer all of your questions. So that way you and your family can start making your game plan on exactly how to start reaching these goals that you have set for your family and that you're looking to achieve. So next thing is I do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. So you're welcome to hop back on anytime that you have questions. If you want to bring a family member back on with you to help you make this decision of starting your bookkeeping business and enrolling in our Bookkeeper Academy, you are more than welcome to come back on until you've got all your questions answered. With a note that we are not going to be having another webinar until October 26th. Because we are actually going to Jamaica on Saturday with one of our students, Kaylee Douglas. You can watch her podcast interview on our YouTube channel. She's likely going to hit $500,000 in annual revenue in her bookkeeping business this year. It's her 4th year in business. She's only 26 years old, and she has been able to grow her business with our guidance solely. Since she started her business back in 2019 and has even grown her family and retired her husband exactly like I have. So we're going to be taking a break for a little bit because we are going to celebrate her business success in Jamaica together. So I'm looking forward to each and every one of you getting to that point. And hey, let's go to Jamaica together because it's going to be awesome and it's going to be super fun. So, but feel free to watch any of the recordings while we're gone. And also we've got some forms that you guys can fill out if you're interested and want more information. So we'll still be able to communicate with you even while we're gone. So the best way to post questions, since we have so many people attending today, if you have a question that you really don't want me to miss, drop it in the Q&A instead of the chat. So that way I make sure and see it and I don't miss it, and you definitely get your question answered. So transparency is one of our core values here at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I would love to help clear up any question that you have so you know exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. So just to give you guys an idea of exactly what we're going to do on this webinar, here is our little agenda for the day. The first thing we're going to do is go over the investment options. So you guys know right from the very beginning, what does this cost? What do I expect to make? So does this cost even make sense? So we're going to talk about that right away, and then you'll be able to see exactly how quickly you can recover your investment and then build on top of that. We're also going to go over our new guaranteed approval program. We have a funding specialist lender that approves every single one of our students to join. So whether you have good credit or not so good credit, you are approved to come into our program, even with a super small down payment. So I'll talk about that and how that works too, just so you know. So if you're watching this and you're like, yes, I really want to do this, I really need to do this, but I have bad credit, I don't have a huge budget to get started, we have options for you. So I'm going to go over that as well. And then the next step is defining your goals. So we're going to really talk about where are you at right now and where do you want to be? So that way you can really utilize the science behind this bookkeeping business to really determine, how am I going to use this bookkeeping business to get from point A, where I am now, to point B, where I want to be. And then of course there's going to be more goals along the way, but I want to determine that first baseline of goals with you, so you really have a clear path to how you're going to start accomplishing those first few goals. And then I'm going to show you like why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family. Whoops, I didn't click it enough. And help you understand how you can utilize it to reach these goals that we set for yourself. And that's going to be kind of the meat of the call, so you guys really get a clear understanding of how a bookkeeping business works, why it's so profitable, and why it would be ideal for you guys. And then lastly, we'll walk you through exactly how our team will help you kickstart your business, build the foundation that you need to carry this success into the future for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or if you've never even heard of QuickBooks before, you can have all the same success. So I'm going to dive in first and give you guys all of the details about our Academy investment, how you can get started with our new guaranteed funding program. And then if you're new here, you'll be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. But to be upfront and transparent, this is what you need to know that you're working with. So our full investment for the Bookkeeper Academy program is $12,000, and it's for the entire first year of support for you being a new bookkeeping business owner. We help you learn the skill of being a bookkeeping business owner, but we also help you make $100,000 in your first 12 months. Some students have even achieved that in less time. You can go from literally making $0 and knowing nothing about bookkeeping to making over $100,000 working part-time and starting with little to no experience. So obviously we accept full pays if you have that in savings or on a credit card, but we do have really awesome payment plans as well. But just so you know, what we expect our students to bring in is a 10x return on their investment. So within the first year, we want you to get close to making $100,000 to $120,000 so that you actually have a 10x return on your investment. So if you think about it, if you're going to invest your money into a savings account, a 401k, or even real estate, you won't get anywhere close to a return on investment like you would if you're investing in yourself or investing in a business. So you're always going to want to start there. That's going to be the first thing that you want to do. Invest your money into something that can turn it into a bigger pool of money. Then you take the profit from your business and then you start investing in those other passive longer term strategies like your 401k or real estate. Stuff like that. So your business is always going to be the biggest investment that you can make because it's going to be the best and biggest return on investment. But the other really cool thing is that our students can get started with very little down because of the Bookkeeper Academy program and success rate, and the fact that we help our students make money so quickly. Sometimes you can literally get a client in your first couple of days of being in the Bookkeeper Academy. And I'll show you a student that joined a couple weeks ago. Got in the academy right away, was approved for funding immediately, and was able to get in and got her first client the next day. So our program helps you really build that momentum and get some money in fast, which makes our loan officers, our lenders that work with us, they are comfortable approving everyone, even if you don't have great credit. So that's a really cool thing that we can offer our students. Sydney says $100,000 in 1 year sounds too good to be true. How do you ensure success? That is a great question. And hopefully, Sydney, you can stick around for this whole thing because I'm literally going to tell you every detail about this so you know exactly how it works and exactly how we can ensure your success. Now, I will tell you, it does take work on your part. This is a business you're going to be growing, right? So, but as long as you follow our action items, follow our steps, and lean on our program for support, there is no reason why you can't make $100,000 in your first year and at least be on track for $100,000 worth of reoccurring revenue, which is really awesome. So great question. And I will keep explaining that as we go along. So Sydney and anyone else, as you guys have specific questions too that come up, like sounding too good to be true or something isn't making sense, please ask me because I'd love to be able to clarify. And Margaret says, is ease funding a high interest loan? So if you go through the ease funding, our lender option, let's say, for example, you don't have great credit. So you're going to be into our guaranteed approval process is what it's called. Your payments will be $640 per month, and it's spaced out over a 24-month time frame. So if you do not pay it off early and you pay it through the whole thing, you're going to end up paying a little over $15,000 instead of $12,000. Now, as you start your business, and I will show you how you'll be able to do this, but you will have the opportunity to pay that loan off early. If you pay it off early within 12 months, there is no interest, zero. So it's really, really awesome. But I also do want to encourage you guys to leverage the power of interest, because if you can pay a little bit of interest to kickstart your business so then you can make $100,000, it's still a worthwhile investment. Whether you end up stretching out your payments and making the full, $15,000 investment instead of the $12,000 investment, if you still turn that into $100,000, it's still an amazing return on your investment regardless of what the interest is. So I encourage you to consider that too while you're going through this, but there is a way for you to get no interest, which is really awesome. And that is such a great question. Now I'm going to talk a lot too during this call about shifting your mindset. And one of the things that you'll want to think about is this old thought about interest, or is this old thought about the way that I look at money serving me? Is it helping me reach my goals? Or is it potentially some old thing that I was taught in the past that actually maybe I could shift my perspective a little bit because it's holding me back? So there's some things like that you might want to, jot down if you think that they might be thoughts that might be like holding you back from getting success in your life. Amanda, yes, this is in US. And if you are outside of the US, especially in Canada, we do have a different lending process that we do have a lender that goes through. You do have to have a little bit of somewhat decent credit to get approved for that. So if you're from Canada, we'll be definitely talking to you specifically about that as well. But this program, yes, is in US funds. So for Canadians, it's a little bit higher of a fee, but still, you can still charge the same and actually more prices as well for your bookkeeping clients. So you're going to get that same return on investment. So like I mentioned when I was explaining it to Margaret, the monthly payment amount for the Bookkeeper Academy is going to be dependent on your credit score. But even if you have really bad credit or even no credit, the highest possible payment for our 12-month Bookkeeper Academy program is $640. It won't go higher than that. It's locked in at that. You could get a payment as low as $290 based on your personal situation. And just so you guys know, and I'm going to show you on an upcoming slide, this is the equivalent of like 1 to 2 super small clients. So when you get in the program, you get your first client. That first client is going to cover all of your business expenses. It's going to cover your email. It's going to cover your investment in the academy. And then every other client from that point on is going to be strictly profit that you'll be able to pull over into your family finances. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. And again, the $640 monthly payment is spaced out over 24 months. But if you do pay it off within 12 months, it is also interest-free, which is something you'll be able to do as you start getting clients, which is really awesome. So I'll give you guys a little bit more information about the funding as we get going. But if anybody is interested in getting more information about that, we do have an interest form here. You can fill that out now if you want to, and we can be communicating with you on what that funding process is like. And if you do have good credit, there are a lot of options to you as far as what payments look like. And it depends on, what you're comfortable with as far as interest rate, but also what you're comfortable with as far as term. They can even space it out to 3 to 5 years. Which is kind of nice because, here's the thing. If you guys, it depends on what your goals are. If your goal is like, I got to get out of this corporate job right now, I would highly suggest stringing those payments out and leveraging that additional cash flow from your business to give you the opportunity to leave your corporate job and open up all that time for yourself. It would be worth paying the interest in that case. But if you're someone that's more so focused on, I don't want to have any debt, I'd rather work these two things simultaneously for a little longer, so I know I don't have any debt, then it would be wise for you to go ahead and hammer out and get a low interest or pay it off quickly so you don't pay the interest. So it really is a personal decision with everybody on exactly how you guys want to tackle that. But it's flexible. So it's kind of a personal decision. And we can help you if you fill out that form. My husband, Sean, is going to be texting you, and we can have those conversations with each of you individually too on like, hey, what's going to be the best plan of action for you when it comes to, paying this loan off early or dragging out the payments so that you can reach some of your other goals first. So yeah, the new funding flexibility is really fantastic. We had someone say, you mentioned QuickBooks. Do I need experience with QuickBooks? I have a teaching degree, so no experience or knowledge with financial work. No problem whatsoever. Our program is specifically designed to help people that have no experience in accounting, bookkeeping, QuickBooks, or financial industry at all. You don't even have to like numbers because most of it's just organization. 90% of our students have gone through the academy over the last 4.5 years, have had zero experience with bookkeeping or accounting. We do have a small group of people now that have joined our program over the last year or so that are CPAs, accounting professionals, because they are seeing all of our students get so much wonderful success by going through our program, even with no experience, that they want a piece of it now too. But yes, we are fully set up to help you, assuming you have no knowledge of any of this. But, and also, whoever has the teaching degree, I do have an interview with Kate Hart on my YouTube channel. She is a student that graduated a few years ago who was a teacher, left a teaching field as well. I also have another student named Ashley who left a teaching career as well because she wanted to grow her family and didn't want to leave them all day to go spend time with other kids. And so she started her bookkeeping business, and she actually shared with me a letter of recommendation that she got from a CPA firm that she was partnering with. They were referring their clients to her to do the bookkeeping, and she did such a great job that they were like really impressed with her. And it was due to all of the awesome training and support that you're going to get in the academy. And Ashley was a teacher as well in the English field, I believe, and never had worked in QuickBooks or bookkeeping or a financial field before. So let's see. Fantasia says she would like to fill out the form. That is great. I will send that to you. Let's see if I can put that on here. There we go. Sent that form. Veronica says currently in Canada, but returning back to the Philippines by November 13th. Can it continue? And yes, you can absolutely keep growing your business no matter where you are living. So it's really great because we show you how to do all of this virtually. There are some things where you can get clients doing in person, but the majority of it, 75% of our marketing that we are going to teach you on this call today is all online. So Amanda says, do we get clients through you? I'm definitely going to walk you through how we teach you guys how to do marketing. I do oftentimes give students referrals because people come to me all the time knowing that we're the bookkeeping experts. And so we focus solely on the academy. So we usually refer those clients out to our students. So you would, possibility of getting clients from me. However, I have a huge passion for teaching you guys how to do the marketing, because if you understand how to find your own clients, you will always and forever be in control of your family's finances. You will never, ever have to worry about anyone controlling how much money comes into your life. You don't have to worry about a fixed income or a fixed paycheck, or fingers crossed your boss gives you a raise. And you don't ever have to do that. You don't have to break your neck to try to impress a boss that then doesn't even recognize your contribution and doesn't give you the raise that you're needing or looking for. If you can understand how to follow our steps and do this marketing, then you will always be able to have money that you guys need. So for example, I had a student named Robin. She was from Alaska, and she had 5 kids. She was homeschooling them. She started her bookkeeping business with us, and she ended up taking one of her daughters to the dentist. And this daughter needed like $1,800 worth of dental work. And for somebody that's been homeschooling your 5 kids and living off of one income, money in the past had always been really tight for them. And as something like that coming up could just wreck you, right? And so when she had her bookkeeping business, she realized that now if something like that comes up, no big deal. I can just turn my marketing back on, go get another client. And in fact, she posted in our group and said, I can't believe this, guys, but I had an $1,800 bill at the dentist, and the next day I had a discovery call on my calendar, and I ended up quoting this guy, and the quoting tool told me to charge him $1,800 for the cleanup job. So it was like serendipitous, if that's the right word. But this is what can happen whenever you are in control of marketing. So Amanda, long answer to your question. Yes, sometimes we hand out referrals, but we actually teach you and empower you to find your own clients forever, which is really, really awesome and important. Okay, let's see. Okay, I would love to know what you guys are thinking as we dive into this. I'm getting ready to get started with the meat of this here, but I want to know how many of you believe it is possible for yourself to make $100,000 working part-time from home. If you had the right tools, the right opportunity, and the right mentor, do you believe that you can do this? So 1, if yes, I believe I can do this. 2, if like, wow, I don't see how this would ever be possible for me. All right, great. So I see mostly 1s, still need some convincing, 1.5. Okay, great. Okay, Ronnie's changing to 1. Okay, awesome. So as we go through this, if anyone is still feeling like you're at a 2 by the end of this webinar, I really want to know why. That'll really help me help you, because the first thing that's most important with starting a business and being able to reach your financial goals is believing that you can do it. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you won't do it. So I want to make sure that's the number one thing that we need to accomplish today, is believing that this is possible for you and your family. So drop a fire emoji or your favorite emoji, whichever is handy, if you guys are ready to get started, so you can learn how you can make $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 a month starting from ground zero. All right. Ronnie's ready. Fantasia's ready. Sandra's ready. Dalee's ready. Alina's ready. Jen, Corsica, Renee, Mary, Sydney's ready. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. So the first thing I want to do is help you guys set some goals for yourself, because these goals are going to be important as we work through the strategy, so you can understand the timeline in which you're going to need to reach these goals. So we're going to talk about financial goals. Financial goals are going to be the most important thing, because you can't reach any other goals until you reach your financial ones first. It's just how it works. So we'll talk about money, we'll talk about financial goals, then we're going to move on to time goals. How much do you want to work in a day? What do you want your day to be structured like? How do you want to structure your free time? And then the third goal is location. Where do you want to work from? What kind of flexibility do you want to have with being able to move around in your day? Do you want to travel? Those kinds of things. So we're going to talk about those, because with your bookkeeping business, you can reach every goal you set for yourself in these 3 buckets. And I'm going to show you how. But let's just dive in right now. We're going to start with the financial goals. And I break these down into 3 different goals. So the first one we're going to calculate together is your bare minimum goal. So let me give you an example. For me, back in 2015, when I decided to start my bookkeeping business, my bare minimum goal was $2,000 a month. I was making about $3,500 a month after taxes at my CPA job. And I decided when my 3rd daughter was born to hire a nanny because I didn't want her to go to daycare. So I was paying that nanny about $1,500 a month to watch my kids while I was gone. That was very, very hard on my family to take a huge hit like that, in addition to having a new baby. So it was a struggle, but I knew, we were somehow making it work on $2,000 a month from my check. And I knew if I started my business, if I could at least hit that and break even, then we could survive and I wouldn't have to go back and find another job. So that was my first goal. That was going to get me the confidence I needed to be able to say, yep, I'm glad I did this. I'm on the right path. I don't need to go back and get another job. So that was my bare minimum goal. So what would it be for you? Type in the chat what your bare minimum goal would be for starting your business. What do you want to make per month first? What would that look like? So drop that in the chat. It could be anything, just depending on your family. So Jesse says 3K. Jen says 3,500. Ronnie's 2,000. Amanda needs 1,000. 5, 4, 2, 4, 5. Okay, great. Great range. Oh, Fantasia needs 10K. So think about that though, Fantasia. Do you really need 10K as your bare minimum goal? Like you can't survive or anything without that, like bare minimum. And it could be just depending on your situation. But the next thing that we're going to write down. So great job, guys. Write those down. Remember those numbers. Goal number 2 is going to be where you're a little bit more comfortable, covered, content, worry-free. You don't have to budget every little penny. All your bills are covered. You're starting to reach your lifestyle goals. So for example, my goal was around $5,000 to $6,000 per month at that time, because that allowed me to cover all of our basic reoccurring monthly expenses for our family. And that gave me the opportunity to let my husband come home. Now, we knew that we didn't want to be at that level forever because we were tight. We were, we didn't have to worry about like getting behind on our mortgage and whatnot, but we needed more than that. And of course, this was back in 2015. So it's probably more for a lot of you now, but this allowed me to get to that next level. And then with my husband home, I knew it was going to be even easier for me to grow my business because he was going to be there to help me out with the kids or help me out with some of the business stuff. So this was our goal number 2. So what is it for you guys? Type in the chat what your goal number 2 would be. Yes, Jen, you should have gotten an email from us on that call. So we're doing these webinars right now, and then Sean will send you a text. So let us know if you got a text from him, because sometimes our texts don't seem to be going through all the time. All right, so anywhere like 5, 6, 3, 7,500, 8,000, awesome. Goal number 2 would be to hit 10,000 a month solidly, awesome. Jose would be 10,000, 10,000, 6,500. Okay, great. So this is great. And it's different for everybody because everybody's got different situation, different needs, different family size, all that kind of stuff. So this is personal to you. And I'll show you how to use our charts here in a minute to see how you can reach those. Awesome. Great job. Keep them coming, guys. So now I want you guys to really start to think, what is your wow goal? This is like your financial goal number 3. This, when you hit this, you're like, good Lord, I never actually thought I was going to make this kind of money. But like for me, when I was working in my CPA job, I watched my boss go on vacations all the time and travel. And I remember telling my husband all the time, one day we're going to have our own company and we're going to go travel. We're going to be the ones that are able to move around and get to do these things. And so I had this huge bucket list of things that I wanted to do, but I never really had the kind of money that I needed to be able to do those things. And of course, the flexibility too. But I knew if I started making around $10,000 a month, I would be able to do some of those things, like never really have to worry about penny pinching and tracking every penny in my checking account. I would be able to go on family vacations, get a new car. I've never had a new car in my life. I always drove beaters and junkers, and then have like a house with a pool. Like those were the things that I want. So drop in the chat, what is your goal number 3 that will help you start knocking off some of those bucket list items and living the lifestyle that up until this point, you've really just been fantasizing about. So tell me what those are. Jen says 40,000 a month is my first wow goal. Awesome. I love that. Super doable. And like Kaylee Douglas, who I'm going to Jamaica with on Saturday, she's very close to that right now, which is really awesome. It takes some time to get there. I will tell you, Jen, unless you like really devote, a lot of time into this business, it'll take a little time to get to that point, but it is so doable because you consistently build on this business and you're always going to be adding to it. And so it compounds over time. Melanie wants to cover her husband's salary. Delee wants 20K a month, 12, 15, 11K plus. 40K monthly for Jose too. I love some of these really awesome big goals. That's great. These are great. All these goals are great though. Jen says, I have time to get there, but I also have time now to work at it. Awesome. Great. I love it. All it takes is hard work and consistency, and you can get there. You can definitely get to those levels. So the great thing too about this program is we work with you no matter what your goals are. So if you are somebody that wants to make like $4,000 or $5,000 a month and you want to stay there and coast because you're focused on growing your family right now, we recognize that and we can help you get to that point. And then if you're somebody that decides, hey, my kids are grown, or I want to travel with my kids, or I want to make a ton of money with this, we can meet you at that point too. And as a matter of fact, we have several programs that you can upgrade into once you reach certain levels. So we can help you with learning how to be a CEO, learning how to be a really awesome boss that's a leader to your people, learning out how to set metrics for your team so they are excited about helping you grow the business, stuff like that. Rachel says, how long did you say it took the girl you're going to Jamaica with to get to 500K? Great question. So Kaylee started in our program. I remember having a discovery call with her in September of 2019. And then over the last bit of 2019, she decided to join our program, set up her business, those kinds of things. So really in 2020 is when she first really started her business. And for a while, for the first like couple, I'd say like year and a half or so, close to 2 years, Kaylee kept her business fairly small because she had a 2-year-old at home. I think her daughter now is like in kindergarten. And then she also had another baby during that time period. And now as her kids have gotten a little bit older, I think her baby's like maybe 2 now. And I think her other daughter's like 5. She has been able to focus more on her business and consistently has been growing since then. So she also, I'll show you a little bit about the marketing tactics that we teach. She hasn't even had to do marketing at all the last couple of years because of a partnership we helped her create. And she's consistently getting clients from this person. So really, really cool. I would say on average, it's going to take you about 3 to 5 years to reach that mark, just depending on your life circumstances. If your kids are grown and you have a goal to get to 500K as quickly as possible, you could probably get there in maybe 2 years. So it really just depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it and what your goals are. Are you more heavily focused on your financial goals, or will you be more heavily focused on having time freedom and doing the other things in life? So But great question. It is different for everybody, but I would say for somebody that's really focused on getting to 500K, probably going to take you about 2 years. There's a lot of little things to learn, especially once you hit that part where right around about 250K, you're going to start needing employees. And that's a little bit of a shift of mindset, learning how to do that, learning how to build your team. And so we've worked really closely with Kaylee on helping her really start to build out a solid team so she can count on them and stay in the marketing and sales hat and oversight hat. So great question, Rachel. I love that. Mary says, all credit cards 0 have house help 3 times a week, boys, horseback riding classes. Awesome. You want to actually live life, not just survive. Yes, absolutely. Car paid off, purchase a new home, and rent out my condo, vacation. 2 years is literally nothing. Let's go. I love that. That's right. I mean, it flies by so fast. I sit here and think, I've been a business owner since 2015. That's like 8 years ago. I can't even believe it. It feels like a blink of an eye. So, but the amount of things we've been able to do with our life since then is incredible. So, this is great. Okay, now you guys have clarity on what your financial goals are. I would love to take just a quick second and talk about your time goals. So the time goals is, how do you want to spend your day? How do you currently spend it versus how do you want to spend it? What do you like about your schedule? What do you dislike about it? The great thing with a bookkeeping business is that you get to choose all of this. You get to choose how much you work. You get to choose the time of day, the day of the week, how you want to work it. And the best thing is you can change the schedule every single week if you want. If you have somebody coming into town on Thursday and you want to take the whole day off to hang out with them, you can. You can change it up. You can do whatever you want. The great thing about bookkeeping is for most clients, it is a monthly rolling process, which means you don't have to do it every single day. You can, work on one client every Monday, another client every other Tuesday. It doesn't matter. So it's really, really great and has incredible flexibility for that. So I want you guys to take a quick second and calculate up to me the total time commitment that you have in your job right now. And I would include all the hours that you're away from home or from family. So let me give you a quick example. For me, I got to work through my lunch break and I only had a 5-minute commute. So I was really only gone from my family about on average 40 hours a week. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he had to be at his job during his hour-long lunch break, plus he had a commute because he worked in downtown Kansas City and he had to fight traffic. So most of the time he was gone a full 12 hours. So he worked about 60 hours a week away from the family. So calculate that in because, you've got to consider the time that you're spending away, the time that you're stuck at your job, the time that you're in the car. So some people, some people that work from home, maybe it's going to be a little bit less, but you don't have that flexibility. So tell me right now, what exactly is the time commitment that you have in your job right now? So Jose says 12 hours. Is that 12 hours a day or just total 12 hours because you work part-time? Same. Okay, Jose says 60 hours weekly. Yep, just like Sean. Fantasia says 6 hours. Is that daily? Ashley says 43 to 50 hours per week. Sean says, don't remind me. Jen is currently a business owner and spend about 10 hours a week with drive time and actual work time. All right. Shanae says, currently I'm a government contractor, so I'm flexible, but I'm turning it over to 501c3. Very cool. I'm also an author, so I have some income from that, but I work from wherever. I want to commit 30 hours to my regular position, the other 20 to 30 to the business because I still need sanity. Yes. So for some of you that have, that work part-time, or maybe you stay home with the kids, or maybe you have like a business or a flexible schedule too, compare this to what you're currently doing. So maybe the flexibility is something you already have and you're looking for something else. So just keep that in mind. Sandra's working away 24 hours per week. Awesome. 50 to 55 for Melanie, 40. All right. So Sydney, as a stay-at-home mom, think about also how many hours per week that you would have to work if you made maybe like your goal 1 or your goal 2. If you had to go out and work, what would that be? What would that time commitment be? All right, awesome. Danielle says, is it possible to get started with guaranteed funding for less than 640 down? Going through a divorce as stay-at-home single mom, so funds are very limited, but time and dedication is infinite. Awesome. If you have credit, your credit score is 580 or above, it's possible you could have a smaller down payment or a smaller monthly payment. If your credit is below 580, you're probably going to fall into our guaranteed funding category where it would be the 640. Great question. All right. So this is great, guys. Now, I want you guys to all think a little bit about what would your ideal schedule be. So you've got all your time. You've got your time written down on how much you're currently devoting or how much you would have to devote if you made this kind of money. But now drop in the chat, how much time and what is your preferred schedule? What do you want to work per week? Stay-at-home mom who homeschools 4 children, so maybe 20 to 30 hours a week. Will need a sitter. Yes. Yep. And as you start your business, it may be something that you hire some help. You have people come in and maybe help tutor, help homeschool, or help sit with your kids so you can do some focused business work. Absolutely. And Jen is ready to add this to her business arsenal. I feel like the growth potential is much better and likely faster than what I'm doing now. Yes. I would be thrilled with 20 hours a week. All right. This is great, guys. And everybody's got different goals here, which is fantastic. And we'll show you exactly what this chart looks like. So we also have location goals. So don't forget about this. For those of you that are stuck in an office or you're commuting or you have to work from a specific place, you won't have to do that anymore with a bookkeeping business. You can work from wherever. It's all virtual. Everything we do is online, from the marketing to the actual bookkeeping to communicating with clients. Everything is online. So you can work from wherever and you can travel. You can go to a different country. You can go to different states. You can even do this living in an RV. So it's really, really flexible. Does anybody have any travel plans that you want to accomplish in the future? Where would you go? Drop that in the chat. Margaret says, I have already started a bookkeeping business. Is the program more tailored to each individual student and can meet me where I'm at? Yes. Or is it a structured program where you have to start everything from the beginning? So no, Margaret, this is a self-paced program and we do meet each person with where they are at. So as you're going through our program, there's going to be some things that you may be able to speed past or skip, and then we can pick up right from there. So that way we can start getting you going where you need to focus. So for you, it's likely going to be, hey, let's make sure you have all this stuff set up appropriately so you can leverage some of these really cool partner programs that we have, but then maybe we move you right on to marketing. And then over time, we help you determine, hey, are we doing things efficiently? Hey, are we quoting the best way that we can so that you can create freedom for yourself? So those are the other things that we would work on with you too, Margaret. Great question. Sandra's weekly goal is 20 hours per week, and she wants to go to Dubai, Greece, and Ireland. Love all of those. I would love to go to all of those. All right. And Jen really wants to travel and see the world. Ooh, Barbados. We were going to go to Barbados, but because of COVID, we ended up having to cancel that trip. All right. These are great. This is great, guys. I love all this stuff. So then, of course, there's even other goals that you can tackle with your business. So what I've seen is a ton of our students have become debt-free, completely paid off, obviously, their investment in the academy, but then some. I had a girl named Jera who was in our program for several years, and she was a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 4, and her husband was a chiropractor and had like advanced degrees in chiropractor school. Like he didn't just do like the minimum, he did like 8 years or something. So he had over $160,000 worth of debt from going to chiropractor school. She paid all of his debt off in 2 years by dumping every bit of her bookkeeping business income onto that student loan debt. 2 years it only took her to pay all of that off while she was homeschooling her 4 kids. And then by the time that was done, she got a good chuckle because she ended up making more money than her husband did at his chiropractic job. So really, really cool. But you can buy houses. I've had students buy their dream homes, even though they had never even been homeowners before. And then a lot of students have goals for investing in real estate, have their 401ks. I'm going to show you how your business is actually a huge investment for you too on an upcoming slide. which is really cool. And Dali wants to play with real penguins. That sounds pretty cool. For me, for my business, for our 1-year anniversary, we decided to buy a brand new car. And of course, by that time, we were solely being funded by our bookkeeping business. My husband wasn't at his job, and this was our only source of income. Not only did we get approved for a brand new car, but I paid it off in 6 months. And we actually still drive this car today. It's our primary family vehicle. But then we also took that car on a 16-day vacation across the country. I had always wanted to do this, take my family everywhere and just feel like nomads for a while. And so we went to Estes Park, Colorado, Mission Beach, California, and the Grand Canyon. And it was great. And the whole time we were gone for 16 days, I brought my laptop with me to just do like a little bit of bookkeeping here and there on things that like had deadlines. But what I really did when I got back is just get caught up on all my clients when I got back. So it was even like very minimal working, and we really got to enjoy the heck out of this vacation. So what would you do? What are some of the big bucket list items that you would do in addition to maybe traveling and location freedom and having the time freedom? What would you do? Spend more time with family and world travel. Yes. Visit sister in UK, buy a new house and car, open an animal rescue. How awesome. I love that. That is really, really cool. So I love that we have spent all this time so far, really like mapping out the goals and the things that you guys can accomplish with starting your bookkeeping business. So now I want to really dive into what that roadmap looks like so you fully understand exactly how you can get to these goals. And then we're going to show you how this works. And then by the time we get done with that, you guys are going to be like, okay, this is perfect. This is amazing, but it sounds too good to be true. And then I'm going to show you why it works out. So like the science behind actually starting a bookkeeping business and why you can achieve all of these goals with it. So let's dive into that. Going on an actual honeymoon. I love that. Yes. Sell house and move out of New York. Yeah. Ronnie says, that's what I want, to be debt-free, travel America with grandkids as a learning experience. Oh, that would be so fun. I know. I feel like I'm going to be such an awesome grandparent because there's so many things I want to do with my kids. I can't wait till they have kids, and then I can do the fun stuff with them too. So yes, there's so many awesome things. Okay, let's dive in. The first thing I want to go over is the average time that it takes our students to reach various levels of consistent, recurring, and dependable monthly income in their bookkeeping business. So there are several ways you can earn money, lots of money, even really quickly, like with cleanup jobs, commission income, payroll income, things like that. But that stuff isn't consistent. It's usually like a one-time thing when you get a new client. So I'll talk about that later. What I want to talk about right now is the consistent reoccurring income that you can count on. This is like a paycheck. This is the stuff where, you know, even if you stopped marketing and you just wanted to coast in your business, you could count on this money coming in every single month. So I want to show you what that looks like. On average, our students see about an additional $1,000 a month of monthly income that comes into their business for every month they are in business. So for example, if your first goal was $2,000 a month like mine, it usually takes our students about 2 months to get there. So really before Christmas, by mid-December, you could already be at that first goal of mine of $2,000. For my second goal of $5,000, you could likely be there by mid-tax season, which would be like February, Valentine's Day, something like that. And during tax season, we actually see our students blow past these timelines because there's so many clients out there that are looking for bookkeeping help during those peak seasons of January through April and September, October, and some other various times throughout the year. But so you could definitely blow past that goal at those times. This chart also shows the average student, which our average student is somebody that works full-time, 40, 50, 60 hours a week outside of the home and has little kids at home. So this is the pace you can expect if that's your situation. Obviously, if you have more time to dedicate to it, it's going to happen a lot quicker. And if you also don't have to work on some mindset issues in the beginning, and you have no fear about following our steps and getting out there and getting your business off the ground, you're going to bypass these goals as well, or this timeline. So it's a little different for each person, but on average, this is what we see, which is really, really great. And, you know, within a year and a half, you guys could easily be at the $20,000 per month mark. So obviously, if you and get approved for our guaranteed approval program, and it's like $640 monthly payment, you're going to be able to cover that likely with your first few clients within the first month or so. So even if you only have enough to get started with your first couple of payments, you know, get in there, take action, get some clients, and then you'll be set. You'll be set for the whole rest of the time. And then that's just your first client. So then you're going to get more clients and be able to build on that, which would be really awesome. So let's see, if we filled out our form, how do we get started with the actual funding loan? So Delee, if you guys filled out that form, Sean's going to be sending you texts, and then we'll get you the actual information so you can actually apply. And I will also share that link here shortly too, as well. And yes, Talee, we will be showing you how you're going to get help with clients as well. I'm going to go over all of that also. So type in the chat, what month would it be for you to reach your first goal based on this chart, where you wouldn't even have to worry about marketing anymore because you've got consistently that money coming in? So how many months, what would the date be? So for me, it would be like December 12th that would have reached my first goal. Same for Jose. Awesome. We are looking forward to it too, Jen. Rachel says 2 months. Awesome. Yes, Alina, we're going to send the recording out to you, but feel free to hop back on here in a little bit if you can. So, wow. Most of you guys, look, 2 weeks before Christmas, November 9th. Yes, most people are going to be able to hit their first goal before Christmas if you start today. That is so exciting. And then you're going to have all this traction, all this momentum going into tax season when there's clients everywhere, and be able to even grow even faster, which is really exciting. Awesome. I love that. Before Christmas. Woo! Okay, so now you're probably wondering, okay, to make that kind of money, how many clients do I actually need? So this chart here is going to show you an approximate amount of clients depending on each different revenue or income level that you want to be at, how many clients you're going to need. This is based on an average client that's pretty small, which is what we typically see, what we typically target, small businesses, and this is like the average size. So for my first goal of $2,000 per month, I only needed about 4 clients. Now, I knew this because I worked in a CPA firm where I was doing the bookkeeping, and I saw what my boss was charging them, but I knew how long it took me to do the work. So I knew that I would only need about 4 clients to make $2,000 a month, and that it was only going to take me a short amount of time per week to do it, which I'll show you guys on the next upcoming slide. But to basically make $2,000 a month, I only needed 4 super small clients. To get to my wow goal of $10,000 a month, I only needed about 20. Again, this is assuming every client is rather small. It is a range, and a lot of our students get larger paying clients. And if that happens to you, that means you'd only need less clients to reach your goal. So for example, Kim in our group, she got a new client in last December, and that client paid her $2,200 per month. So she reached her first goal and only needed 1 client instead of 4. If you look down at the 20K mark, it says you need approximately 40 clients. But when I had my bookkeeping business and I was making $20,000 a month, I only had 33. So just kind of a typical range, just depending on what their needs are, the size of the company. You're not going to charge everybody the same. So it's going to be a range. So type in the chat now, how many clients do you need to hit your first goal? Type that in there. Ashley needs 10, Akiba 4, Sydney 4, 10, 2 to 4. Awesome. Rachel needs 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Okay, great. All right, awesome. So I want to show you what you're working with here. Here is a chart from 2022 that shows you the potential client pool that's available to you guys. So you guys need anywhere from like 3 to 10 clients, somewhere along that range, a little different for everybody. But this picture shows from the SBA.gov, there is over 33.2 million businesses in existence in 2022. And as you can see, this is a chart of the last 6 years, and every year it grows. And in fact, there are over 500,000 small businesses that are starting up every single month. And bookkeepers and CPAs are retiring in droves with no one to replace them because there's been a pretty huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees, probably because of the low pay and the long hours during tax season. Clients are literally everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you, tons of fish in the sea, and never enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. But it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. Every single one of these businesses have to do bookkeeping, whether they think they're going to do it themselves or they hire somebody to do it for them. It has to be done. They can't get loans. They can't file their taxes, and they can't make good business decisions without having their bookkeeping done so they can look at their financial statements. So it's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase. They all know they need it, and they are all already convinced of the value of bookkeeping, especially if they have been putting it off, which is really, really common. So finding clients and getting clients to say, yeah, I need bookkeeping help, it's really relatively easy. And of course, we walk you through exactly how to do that, how to find clients, and I'm going to show you all about that on an upcoming slide. So based on this client pool and the number of clients that you need in your business to reach your first goal, put a thumbs up in the chat if you feel like it is doable to reach your first goal and obtain those clients if you have the right guidance, obviously. Lots of thumbs up from Jen. Thumbs up from Dalee and Sandra and Talia. Margaret says, I know you said the program is self-paced. Is there one-on-one support? If so, how often? I have gone through other self-paced programs and I don't feel confident in my bookkeeping skills. I don't want to be a mediocre bookkeeper. I want to be a great bookkeeper and provide tons of value to my client. I believe one-on-one support is what I need. Okay, so great question. And Margaret, that is really awesome because a lot of you guys, Margaret has some experience, but a lot of you guys are going to be very brand new to bookkeeping, right? We believe in providing world-class service to your clients. So we're going to make sure that you provide that service to your clients. I'll go through exactly how our team supports you in an upcoming slide too, but I just want to let you know that most of our program is in a group format and a group style. Part of the reason for that is because everybody is learning from other people's questions, which is really fantastic. And you will learn so much more about how to go above and beyond and provide more value to your clients than the average bookkeeper is going to know how to do because of that awesome communication. Now, with that being said, we do provide some one-on-one support in the academy. We do have proper channels for you to have to go through in order to qualify for that. But if there is a situation where you are really stuck on something and we are unable to help you through the group format, we do have one-on-one availability to walk you through doing some of the bookkeeping because our goal is to get you doing world-class service for your clients. The other really cool one-on-one thing that you get to have access to is what we call our financial review feature. So every single client that you get, you can submit the financials. Your actual QuickBooks file is going to be submitted to our team, and our head of education is going to go through and do a full review of all the work that you did for that time period of the client. And then what we do is we record anywhere from a 15 to a 60-minute video, and we give it back to you saying, hey, all of this looks amazing. You did great here. You did great here. You did great here. This is something that I might check into. You might want to ask your client this, and so on and so forth. So we offer that for every single client that you get. So you are going to learn a massive amount of information that way on how to be an expert bookkeeper. And the other great thing is too, we really support you no matter what client you get. So a lot of times when you've got bookkeepers out there, they may know how to do bookkeeping for painters, but then they get somebody in a construction type industry, or maybe they get somebody in real estate and then they don't know how to do that. We know how to work in every single industry. So you can not only be an expert bookkeeper in one industry, but an expert bookkeeper in all of them. And that way we can help you feel confident on being able to say yes to every single client. You never have to turn away any clients. And I know for me, when I started out, I didn't have the experience in every industry when I first started. So when I got a new client in a different industry, it was a huge learning curve for me every single time, which ended up causing frustration and stress and overwhelm. And I had to do a lot of research and figure things out on my own. And you guys won't have to do that. You get to skip most of that because we're going to be there guiding you, telling you, yes, no, that's not important. Yes, we're going to do it this way. And I had to do a lot of trial and error when I was doing it because I had to go it alone. So that's one really great area that we help with. And the financial review part is really fantastic. And you can learn a lot from even just getting feedback on that. So I'm the same business degree, major in accounting, but only some experience in bookkeeping. Yes. And just so you guys know, whether you have an accounting degree or you don't, what they teach you in school for accounting is applicable to large publicly traded corporations like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, somebody that's going to have a huge internal accounting department and going to be producing their financial statements on a GAAP basis is what it's called. Small businesses don't do any of that. So bookkeeping is a little bit different. If you have an accounting degree, you're going to understand financial statements and debits and credits and things like that. If you don't, we teach you that right away in the Bookkeeper Academy. But a lot of what people learn when they get accounting degrees is not applicable to having a bookkeeping business. So, just know that there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to teach you in the academy as well to be able to use that knowledge and apply it into the real world, into actual real life businesses. Taylor says, I closed my bookkeeping business because I didn't have experience and wasn't confident enough because I didn't have a go-to business. Yes, absolutely. I mean, having a business and doing it by yourself is a hard thing to do, especially if it's, questions come up. And when you don't know the answer to questions, it can really shake your confidence. What our Bookkeeper Academy does is give you that confidence safety net. So yeah, you're not going to know everything, but you get to tell your client, hey, there's probably going to be times where you have questions for me. I may not be able to answer you right away, but I will look into it and get back with you. Then you come to us and say, oh my God, my client asked me this. I have no idea what he's talking about. And our team will explain it to you. And we have a 42-minute response time right now in our academy. And so you're going to get a really fast answer. We're going to make sure you understand it. And then you can go back to your client, present him with the information, and you look like a rock star, which impresses your client. And then your client wants to tell everybody about you, and then you get more referrals. So that is how it happens. And this is why the Bookkeeper Academy is our primary program, because sure, we have courses, but the lack of confidence that most people feel when they do it alone is enough to make people not successful. So that's why we have the support system for you, because we want to ensure your success. And we also want to make sure that it feels more seamless. Sure, there's going to be hard days. Sure, there's going to be ups and downs with the business, no matter how much support you have. But we're going to be able to eliminate a lot of that just by having this community of support and having that confidence safety net. Jen, yes, your appointment is this webinar, but you probably did book a call and we probably canceled it and redirected you to the webinar. So sorry about the confusion there. Let's see. Yeah, you didn't have a go-to person, Talia. Yeah. Just received my MPA and took some budgeting courses. In my current position, I have a fiduciary, but I'm seeking a 501c3. I need to secure an accountant. Wonder if I could do my own bookkeeping. Of course you can. Absolutely. Honestly, even if you have a business and you are going to do your own bookkeeping, it would be beneficial for you to be in the academy, even if you're only going to learn how to do your own bookkeeping, because the amount of money that you can save by not having to pay a bookkeeper over all these years, it's going to be cheaper for you to be in the academy too than having someone long-term, which is really great. Do you have slides up? I only see a blank screen. I do. Do you guys see the client pool? slide. Sometimes, Amanda, people have to like toggle around. Sometimes they get stuck on different screens depending on if you have a Mac or something. Danielle says, I have been extended the opportunity to get a bookkeeping certificate through a local college and state will pay for it because I'm unemployed. Is it worth it? Hey, I'm always an advocate for continuing your education. So if you are going to get a free bookkeeping certificate from a college and you have the time that you want to put into it, I would never say don't do it. But I will say there's always an opportunity cost when you do something, because if you devote your time into that, instead of devoting it into the Bookkeeper Academy or into our plan of marketing and getting out there, you're going to take longer to get clients, bring in money, get traction. So it's different for everyone's situation, but I would say if you have plenty of time and that's not going to interfere with you actually getting results and being able to start bringing in money, then I say go for it. If you are unemployed and you are struggling for cash and you really need to start supporting your family, then that is just going to prolong the misery, truthfully. So I would suggest getting in the academy, make money. As you start getting some money rolling in, if you still want to get your bookkeeping certificate, then dive in and do that. So let me know what you think about that, Danielle. Okay. So now this next slide is my absolute favorite one of the whole presentation. I love this slide. I'm always so excited to share this with you guys because this is the actual expected time commitment that you need to make to complete bookkeeping work for clients at various monthly income levels. Now, this is based on my experience working in my previous CPA firm. I translated this to my own firm, and now I have translated these results to thousands of other families. And so this is literally how it works. It's going to sound too good to be true, but I'll show you why here in a few minutes. But this is how it works out. So if your first goal is $2,000 per month in your bookkeeping business, it is only going to take you 4 hours per week to do the bookkeeping work for all of those clients. Okay, 4 hours. So that is what it works out. That is why I quit my job, because I knew how long it was taking me to do this bookkeeping work. I saw how much my boss was charging clients. And I knew if I hit that first goal, it would only take me 4 hours a week to do the bookkeeping work. And I could spend the rest of that time with my daughter, my third daughter, and my older two. So this is the primary reason why I started my bookkeeping business. And this is why I think it's ideal for all of you to start one as well. So if you look at this chart, pick the time or the money that you're currently bringing in right now on your job. So I know a lot of you like wrote down your total time commitment that you're making right now. Let's say for me, I was bringing in, before paying the nanny, like $3,500. So I'll say $4,000 is what I was making. And I was working 40 hours a week. But if I had switched to a bookkeeping business at that time, I would have only had to work 8 hours per week. So essentially, I would have saved 32 hours per week of time by doing my bookkeeping business instead of my corporate job. So I want you guys to think about that for a second and then type in the chat. How many hours per week would you save if you did your bookkeeping business and made that same money in your bookkeeping business than what you are doing right now? So calculate up the total hours per week that you would save and drop that in the chat. Shanae says, I came 30 minutes late. Did you mention anything about becoming certified through this program or academy costs? I did, Shanae, I did at the beginning. And I'll go over that again here too in a little bit. Plus, I'll also send you the replay to this if you can't stay on to the end. So, oh my goodness, Margaret would save 30 hours. Talea would save 40, 40 hours. Dalia would save 20, Sandra 30. Let's see, Fantasia 20, about 30 for Renee, 20. Jen says, I wouldn't quit what I'm working on now, but I wouldn't have to get another job. So it would save me 40 to 50 hours at least. Awesome. Jose would save 30. Peta would save 25 to 30, Ronnie 25, Veronica 20 hours. Awesome. So as you guys know, this is my favorite chart because I love saving time. That's my awesome thing, because with money, you can make more money, but you can't ever get time back. And if any of you guys have little kids at home, you know that that time goes by really fast. And to be able to have the opportunity to spend that time with your family when they need you and they're little and they actually want to hang out with you, it is priceless, right? So time has always been really important to me. Now, this chart is a recap of everything we've talked about so far. So if anybody wants to take a quick screenshot of this, you're welcome to do so. The first column shows the average time it takes to get to the second column, which is the total monthly income. And then the third column shows you how much time it takes you to complete the work for those people at that monthly income. And the fourth column is the number of clients approximately that you would need to hit those various different goals. So now you can see, as reoccurring revenue goes in your business, what levels you need to be at to hit those different goals that you have. Jen says, okay, I'm ready to start now. All right, Sean, will you text Jen and see what options she wants to do? So we can do the funding. If you want to pay us directly, we can do that too. I'll have Sean text you so we can get that going. Now, most of the time at this point in the slideshow, everybody's like, gosh, this is so, just like Jen, sign me up. I want to get started right now. This is amazing. And it really is amazing. Delee's ready too. So I want to talk about how this works, how this high money, low time business works, because it sounds too good to be true, but it's really not. There's a science behind it on exactly what we do and how you do this to actually have these results. So, all right, Sandra's ready as well. Awesome. Jen says, I've been following you for, I think, about a year now. I've been working and trying to get to the lint I am here where I can start. Awesome. Great. So for those of you guys that are ready to start, are you guys wanting to do the funding link, or are you wanting an invoice? So let me know that. And that way, if Sean isn't able to check with you right now, can you go back to the chart? Absolutely. Is this one you want to see, Akiba? And why we're doing that, I'll go ahead and just drop the link in here for you guys to apply, since so many of you guys are ready to go, because it only takes about 5 minutes to apply. So here's the link to the funding for those of you that want the funding link. If you want an invoice from us too, just let me know. And then from there, it's just quicker if you guys want to pay us directly. If you have the 12K and savings are on a credit card, we can literally get you onboarded in like an hour. If you want to go through funding, that's totally fine too. Here's the process with the funding. It takes about 5 minutes to apply. If you have good credit, they're going to take you through normal lending process. And so they'll have do income verification, and then they'll have a call with you to go over your terms, and then you'll be able to be approved. You'll get the funds. That usually takes like 3 to 5 days for the whole process to go through, but you'll know within a couple of hours if you're pre-approved. If you don't think you're going to be pre-approved for traditional funding or financing, they're going to bump you immediately into our guaranteed approval package. So go ahead and click that link and apply. 5 minutes to do that. If you, let's say, have a 500 credit score, you're going to get bumped into guaranteed funding. And then from there, it moves really fast. They're going to have you book a call with the lender, go over the terms, make your first payment, have the welcome call with the lender, and then you'll be able to get into our program. So if you guys want to get in today, you can also go through the funding link and potentially would be able to get in today too. So one little caveat that I like to say is, the funding specialist, the lender, is fast. They move really fast. So book your call with them, but make sure you have your down payment ready when you book that call, because they're going to collect it and then get you onboarded right away. They don't waste any time. So, and your guys are going to apply for the 12,000 for the full program. And that's the number that you're going to put in. Jen Whitney, Sean, sorry about that. All right. Yes. So it's $12,000 for 12 months in the program. and that'll cover your whole first year. Well, I didn't really talk about this yet, but a lot of our students end up renewing and staying in for 2, 3, and 4 years so that they can continuously get supported and go on to the next levels. And we also have programs that you can upgrade into as well to help you get to the next level. So if you're someone like Kaylee who wants to eventually make $500,000 in your business, then you can graduate into our mastermind programs where we help you learn how to be a rock star CEO and build a really awesome team. The funding is not a scholarship or a grant. It's more like a loan. So these are monthly payments that you're going to make to be able to get into this program with very little down and start making money from clients right away. So you can then use that money to finish paying off the loan. So it's not a scholarship or a grant. You do have to pay this back. I wish it was a scholarship or grant, but it's really hard to get approved for grants. Danielle says, are there any startup expenses we will need to account for? Great question. I actually think I have a slide on that. Let me see here. Haven't used this slide in a while. Whoa. And I haven't even shown you guys all the other cool stuff. Like there's a lot of income stuff potential that we haven't even talked about yet. Most common questions. Okay, here we go. So here's a list of some of the startup and ongoing expenses that you can expect. It is minimal, super minimal. Most people are completely profitable after they get their first client, even after paying first or second client, even after paying for the academy. So the first one is getting your LLC. This is dependent on the state that you live in. For example, in Missouri, it's a one-time $50 charge, but if you live in New York or California, it's an $800 charge that they charge you every year. So this is something that we recommend. Errors and emissions insurance is around $20 to $30 per month. We don't recommend you get that until after you get your first client because you don't need it until you get your first client. We do recommend that you get your own domain. So like if your business is going to be Tiffany Higgins Bookkeeping, then you could get tiffanyhigginsbookkeeping.com. And so that way you've got a domain for your business. And then that will allow you to get a company branded email account, which costs about $8 per month to have your own email. You need a basic laptop or computer or even a Chromebook to get started. Internet, access to the internet, and Microsoft Excel you might need. And then the QuickBooks Online Accountant is free. This is it. It is so minimal. If you guys Google, you'll find an article on Forbes.com that says, what are the top most profitable businesses that you can run from home? And bookkeeping is in the top 3. So it's really awesome. We do recommend, Shanae, that you do get an LLC. You don't have to do it right away. And we actually do have a partner that we can help you. You book an appointment with them and they will do your LLC for you. And then you just, I believe, pay the state fees for that. And every state is different. So it depends on where you live, but you don't have to do that prior to getting into the academy. But we do recommend that you do get an LLC for 2 reasons. One, it's an additional layer of liability protection as you're growing your business. But also number 2, it's also because these bookkeeping businesses are so profitable that probably within the first year or 2, you're going to want to be taxed as an S Corp to save on taxes. And an LLC, you have to be an LLC to do that. So we usually just recommend just get that out of the way right at the beginning because you don't ever have to do it again. Can you repeat the academy cost and payments? I came at the tail end of that. Yes, let's go back up to that slide so you can see it. So our program is $12,000 for 12 months of support. We take you from 0 to $100,000 in your first year. And that's close to a 10x return on investment in the academy. And then you'll be able to use your profit to invest in other things as well. And because our students can, number 1, they're super successful, but also number 2, they can start making money. Like literally in the first week, we have a lender that will actually give you funding or a loan for the academy with very little down. And it doesn't even matter if you have bad credit or no income, you still get approved because they know our students are going to make money and be able to pay their payments. So worst case scenario, your monthly payment is going to be $640. You can pay it off early to avoid all of that interest, and you only need the $640 to get started. which is awesome. Yes. Awesome, Shanae. Okay. Also here in Alabama, you also have to pay for your business license every year. Yeah. So there's going to be, as you guys get going, there's going to be state and sometimes even city requirements. And we help you guys out with all of those things too, should any of those questions come up. But yeah, and it's minimal. It's very minimal. Like I know for Missouri or for the city that I live in, a business license is like $25. And sometimes you have to pay it every year. Sometimes it's a one-time fee. It really just depends on where you live. And Melanie says, if we still would like your support after 1 year, do we continue paying $12K per year? Great question. No, actually, after the first year, you get a discount. All of our returning members get to stay in our program for half price. So it drops down to $500 a month or $6,000 for the year for year 2 and beyond. But a lot of times our students will also upgrade into our mastermind programs, and those range anywhere from $12,000 to $24,000 to $36,000, just depending on what your goals are and if it makes sense for you to upgrade. Because like, for Kaylee, she's invested in our mastermind the last couple of years, and we've helped her get to that 500K mark and learn how to build her team so we can effectively like write her out of her business so it runs without her. And that's a part that I still have upcoming on my slideshow to share with you guys. You guys have had such great questions, but I have that we can still talk about as well. So great questions. Okay. Dee is ready and Sandra is ready and Jose wants the funding link. And awesome. Okay. Rachel says, how long is the quote for the finance company good for? I know I will not be able to start until November. Okay. That's great. So Rachel, I would recommend filling out our interest form. So that way, Sean, my husband, it can reach out to you. Let's see. So I'm going to put in the interest form there for you guys. Fill that out, and that way we can start communicating with you over text, and we can notate, hey, November 1st, we'll reach back out to you and have you go ahead and apply then. So that way you can get in. Now, this guaranteed approval process, this is a private lender that does this for us. So obviously we have no idea if they ever decide to take this program away in the future. We have zero control over that. So we don't really know how long it's going to be in effect. I would imagine it's going to be around for a while. So you're probably good to go with that. Ashley says, I currently work as a bookkeeper and can't start my own business yet as I have a conflict of interest. What do you suggest I start doing? Should I start marketing, finding clients now, or just jump right in? Ooh, this is such a great question. I'll go back to my slideshow here in a minute, but I love this question, Ashley. And we've had several students in situations like this in the past. And of course, myself, I started my business and I worked at a CPA firm, did the bookkeeping, right? So it can be different. I had this student and I actually just had her podcast air. Her name's Dresden. You can look on my YouTube channel and watch hers, but she left a CPA job as well. And she started her business before she left there. And at first she didn't tell them that she was doing this. And then she started to realize, oh my gosh, this is going to take off. So I probably need to let my boss know that I'm doing this. And so they ended up having a discussion, and actually her boss ended up just letting her go part-time at her CPA job while she was building her business. And they just had an agreement that she wasn't to market to any of their clients, and she wasn't allowed to take any of the clients with her. She had to find her own, and everything went fine from there. So it can be totally up to you if A, you want to have that conversation with your boss and the company that you work for, or B, you want to just do this on the side and just leave as soon as you can, or 3, quit your job and go all in on this right away. That's what I did. I did option 3 because I knew that I would be able to do this. I didn't know for sure, truthfully. I just assumed I would be able to figure it out. And worst case scenario, I told myself, you can go get another job if this doesn't work out. So if you have the ability to just quit and then dive right into this, you're going to have much faster success, but obviously there's an extra layer of risk to that, right? To quit your job and then go do this. But if you're willing to go all in, you're not going to have any problems. I guarantee it. Margaret says, I'm currently still paying off a current program. I will be finished by the end of the year. Will the funding program still be available for me then? Most likely, yes. But like I mentioned, I don't really have control over that. I want to encourage you though, just because you're paying for something else doesn't mean you have to wait until that is done to get started with something else. There's been a lot of things I've invested in over the years that sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. But if they don't, you don't need to just stew around on that and wait. You know what I'm saying? So keep in mind with that too, because if it's something that's not really paying off for you now, why prolong it 3 more months and not get more results for 3 more months, right? So if you have the cash flow to be able to float this monthly payment, I would highly suggest just diving in and doing that. That way you can get results. You know, you can get to your goals a lot faster. So I actually have a student in our program right now. She's going through a divorce, so I can't really say her name. But when she first joined our academy, she was apprehensive about joining because she had recently invested quite a bit of money in some parent coaching. And it didn't feel like it paid off for her. She felt kind of like she wasted it. And I told her, well, that happens. You know, you can definitely invest in things that are a waste. You know, I bought a brand new couch one time that was like way overpriced. And I was like, this sucks. But that didn't stop me from like, you know, doing other things in the future. Right. And so you just have to decide, is this program going to have that result for you? Or is this program going to be something that's going to give you the return that you're actually looking for? And if so, don't beat yourself up because you invested in something that didn't have the right return. Just make a better decision next time, right? Like, and you just have to learn from it. You just have to learn from it and go from there. So let me know, Margaret, what you think about that, if that was helpful. All right. Let's see. What questions did I miss? So the 640 is the down payment, or does that loan offer decide the down payment? Yes, Stacy, if you go through the funding and you get into our guaranteed approval process, worst case scenario, your payment is 640. And that's the down payment, and that'll be the monthly payment for 24 months. However, you can pay it off early to avoid any interest if you pay it off within 12 months. PETA says, how soon do students get started with their bookkeeping business once joining the program? Great question. So let me share my screen again, because I've got several really awesome slides there that you guys can see. I had a student not this last Saturday, but the Saturday before. Let me see if I can find that slideshow. Her name was Crystal. She was really excited, decided to go ahead and apply for funding. By Monday afternoon, she was in our academy. And by Tuesday, she already posted that she got her first client. So you can really start getting success right away. What we teach in our program is to go ahead and start marketing. And then we will teach you the other things as it goes, as it comes up. Let me see if I can find. I thought I think I just might have it in my email. I'll pull that up for you guys here in a second so you can see that girl's post in the group that she got a client in her second day. Let's see. Yes, Ronnie, we will send you that information. Okay, I want to go back to, because you guys are all so excited and awesome, and I love this. I haven't even shown you guys the really cool stuff on how much money you can make in addition to this consistent, reoccurring, like monthly paycheck that you basically get. Because one cool thing about a bookkeeping business is that 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they are behind in their bookkeeping, which means they haven't done bookkeeping for months, sometimes even years into the past. And that's actually why they're looking for bookkeeping services, because it's become a problem for them. It's become a pain point, and they need to get caught up. They want to stay caught up going into the future. But the great thing about this is you get to charge for that back work, just like you get to charge for the future monthly reoccurring work. So it's kind of like another cool income opportunity. I like to call it a Christmas bonus every time you get a new client, because almost every single one of them will have some kind of back work or cleanup fee that you can charge. This is a little harder to predict because it's different for every single client and every single student. So I didn't include it on that first chart that we talked about, but I want you guys to understand what other potential income is available in your business should you get some clients that need cleanup jobs. So I'm going to give you guys some examples of some of the students in our academy here over the last year that have gotten some cleanup work, so you guys get a little bit of an idea. All right. So Kim joined our program on October 17th. So she's about 5 days shy of celebrating her first year in business. She actually landed her first client about 6 weeks after starting the Bookkeeper Academy and launching her business. She was still working outside the home and had a really young kid at home. Like I think he was almost 2. This client that she landed was a larger company, so she was able to charge about $2,200 per month to complete the ongoing bookkeeping services. I kind of mentioned her earlier, so she only needed one client to hit that first, revenue goal. When we were helping her learn how to do the ongoing books for this client, we realized and we helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper did not do the previous months of 2022's bookkeeping correctly. So we were able to help her present those findings to the client and structured a $9,000 proposed cleanup job so she could go back and get all of that in order. Because this client was a larger client, it made sense to have this larger fee. And the client went ahead and said, go ahead, take that out of the account. Let's get it fixed. I need this done. So on December 16th, she posted this. This was only 2 months after starting her business. She actually made over $11,000 in her bookkeeping business. So she had that reoccurring revenue coming in, but totally made $11,000 in 2 months in her business, right from the start. This is right from the start. Let's see. Shanae says, how does it work if I want the partner spouse and I to do the bookkeeping business together? Great question. We allow husband, wives, or partner spouse combos to come into the academy together under one membership. We really value everybody working together as a family. My husband and I have always done that too. I've got some other examples. If you watch my weekly wins live that I posted yesterday, Robin and her husband, they've been in the academy for 3 months. They've made $20,000 in 3 months, and they're doing it together as well. So love that. Think that would be really great for you. So your husband or your spouse or your partner can be in the program with you. Same membership. Delise already approved. Congratulations. Woohoo. I hope we can get you in today. That's going to be awesome. Sandra says, how will I know if I'm approved to get started? So once you fill out the funding form, you usually hear back within a few hours if you are pre-approved. If you have good credit, it could take a little bit longer. If you don't have super great credit, it usually happens faster because it's a totally different tier. But Sean says, Sandra, you are already approved. Yay, great job, guys. I'm so excited. Fast action is great. Every time I see students take fast action like that, I know they're going to be super successful because that's just what it takes, like not being afraid to get out and do things. A lot of us tend to overanalyze. I'm guilty of it, overanalyzing and thinking about every little thing all the time. That always holds you back. My husband, Sean, and I both are analyzers. Like that is literally the definition of our personality, but we always realize too how that can be a detriment to our success too. So great job on taking fast action, guys. Okay, so Kim made $11,000 within 2 months of starting her bookkeeping business. Here is Alicia. She joined our academy on November 18th last year, so she's coming up on her first year as well. She spent 3 weeks getting her business set up and ready to go. Her family was actually moving during this time and everything, but then she launched her marketing plan, and on December 15th, she got her first client. It only took 4 days of actually marketing before she got this first client. She was able to charge this one about $1,500 per month, and they were behind a couple of years in their bookkeeping, so she charged them $6,000 to get them caught up. So within the first month of Alicia being in our academy, she made $7,500. So do you guys kind of see how you can be able to pay off your loan from the funding specialist interest-free? You can do that really quickly, or you can keep that payment and then stockpile that cash to give you guys the mental freedom and the financial freedom to be able to go ahead and quit your jobs and focus on that and everything. Sean, did you send Jen Whitney a text? Okay. Yeah, let's see if it's not going through. Sean, if you want to drop your phone number in here, that way maybe you guys, if you want, can text him directly, because sometimes with our Google Voice line, it doesn't always go through. It's very frustrating. But there's Sean's phone number, guys. If anybody hasn't gotten a text from him yet, but you want to talk about funding or you have any private questions you want to ask, feel free to shoot him a text. Okay, so Alicia, $7,500 in her first month. Now, these Kim and Alicia, their cleanup jobs and their results, they are somewhat common. Like, we see a lot of cleanup jobs that range anywhere from $1,500 to $10,000. We see them coming in fairly quickly like that. But this next one is a little wild, but I want to show you guys just something that's possible. By the way, you can see Alicia's interview on my YouTube channel as well. But Jen, this next girl I'm going to show you, I also interviewed her on my YouTube channel. And all of these ladies are normal people, just like all of you guys, just like all of us. And they just followed the process and they just had success from following the steps. But Jen stumbled across somebody who paid her $32,000 to get her caught up, to get them caught up. So Jen started our program on August 12th of 2022. So she's about 14 months into business. But right at her 4th month, she got her 5th client, and this client was larger. She was paying $2,197 per month to Jen. And then, so Jen was making about $4,000 a month in reoccurring revenue around this four-month mark. So she was kind of right on line with that consistent paycheck, right? But she got this huge cleanup job of $32,000 that she's been able to stockpile away, and obviously made like $34,000 in month 4, not even counting her other clients. Now, you'll see on her interview, she did actually break that $32,000 out for the client over like 4 subsequent months. So they didn't pay all of that like right up front, but she did get it all within about a 4-month time span, which is really, really awesome. This isn't typical. We have seen, I saw a backwork cleanup job that was $75,000 from a student once. Most of them are around like $1,500 to $10,000 is what we see typically. But just so you know, there's an opportunity to have some really awesome clients that pay you a lot of money up front to do this, because bookkeeping is important. It's important to them. And of course, we show Jennifer and Alicia and Kim exactly how to onboard these clients, how to do the cleanup job, break it down into manageable step-by-step chunks, things like that. So we walk them through how to do all of that. Let's see. Shanae says, and as far as the dual participation, do we both have to apply or just one and we take it together? Great question, Shanae. So with the funding, only one of you really needs to apply. If you want to pick the person that has the best credit score so you have more options, that would be great. And then once you get funded, you can both sign our terms of enrollment and then come into the program. So that's how it works. Only one of you has to actually do the loan funding process though. And I would probably just pick whoever has the best credit, because then you'll have more options. Mary says, how long is the actual training to do bookkeeping, hours a day of training? Great question. So that's pretty flexible, depending on your preferences and your goals. So what we suggest is, if you can spend about an hour a day working on getting your business set up, then it'll only take you about 2 weeks to be fully ready for clients. Now, ready is a relative term. You're never going to feel ready. You're probably always going to feel a little nervous or scared. You're never going to know everything that you're going to ever want to know. So when I say ready, I mean you can have an intelligent conversation with someone about bookkeeping enough to get them to sign on. Now, you should be ready to do that within a couple of weeks if you only even have an hour a day to work on it. But And then once you do that, we'll roll you into marketing, and the marketing will take over, and you'll spend an hour a day on marketing. Then when you start getting clients, then you'll be able to actually like do the bookkeeping work. And that's going to be like actual hands-on training that you're going to be getting with the support of our team. So we really tell people, as long as you can squeeze out at least an hour a day to work on your business, you're going to be able to get results. Now, it's totally dependent on your goals, on how you structure your day and how stressful you want to make it. So for me, I wanted to have time. So for those of you that have this other job, at the beginning, it's going to be a little difficult to juggle both of them. But if your goal is to get it up to speed so you can quit that job really quickly, then you'll be able to do that and then have all this extra time on your hands. So kind of just depends on the structure and what you want to do. Let's see. That is so weird that those texts aren't going through. I knew that was happening. Okay. So where was I? Okay. So again, a recap of all of the people that actually have all the different cleanup jobs, so you guys have an idea. I'm so excited for you too, Sandra. It's going to be so great. But I want to highlight to you guys that all this stuff is awesome, but how does this all work, right? So when these ladies got these potential clients, we help them understand how to handle all of the steps leading up to getting paid, but all the steps that come after. So here's some things. We help them understand how to conduct a new client discovery call. We have a script, we have questions that you ask, so that you know exactly how to put together a proper quote based on these questions. You bring the questions to us, we help you formulate a quote, we help you formulate a proposal, and we show you how to present that to the client. So then you're able to explain the value of bookkeeping to these clients so they actually say yes and want to sign on. And once they say yes, then we show you how to get them to sign an engagement letter. We give you a template for that, how to charge them, how to onboard them, what information that you're going to need to get from them so that you can do the actual work. We show you how to break down any of the cleanup jobs into manageable step-by-step process. We also show you how to understand how to do the ongoing monthly work too. And all of this is going to help you make a minimum of $100 an hour doing this work. But most importantly, we taught all of these ladies, and we're going to teach you how to find the clients as well, which obviously most of you guys know is called marketing. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, marketing is a really important skill to develop, because if you can understand how to get marketing down, then you will never have your hands tied behind your back ever again when it comes to finances. If your family ever needs money for whatever reason, you know exactly how to bring it in. So I'm really passionate about showing you guys how to make marketing work. It's really important that you learn this stuff, because that's what gives you true freedom in your life. So with marketing, our students are usually only spending about an hour a day on their marketing. Sometimes they do it more in the beginning, and then once they start getting on clients, it kind of falls off a little bit because they're focusing on doing a really good job, and then it picks back up once you've got some of those first few clients in monthly maintenance mode. If you can spend more time on marketing, that's even better, but even an hour a day will get you these results. We have 3 main methods that we teach our students to get clients. All 3 of these methods have been proven to take our students from 0 to 100K per year in their business within the first 12 months, sometimes even well before the 12 months. And we give you the opportunity to choose which method works best for you. So if there's one of these methods that you're like, I really don't want to do that, don't worry, because the other 2 will get you to the goal as well. Now, if you don't have any fear or reservations about doing all of them and you decide I'm doing them all, you're going to have much faster results, but you can still have results even if you only pick 1 or 2 of these. Cindy says, will AI take over bookkeeping? Never. AI is great though, and it is another tool that we leverage and is another reason why you can make $100 an hour as a bookkeeper, because you're going to have to understand how AI works, how that works within the QuickBooks software, and you'll be able to leverage it as a bookkeeper to speed up your process. But it is never going to take over bookkeeping because, let's face it, they mess up all the time. QuickBooks has a lot of AI stuff built in, and a lot of times we have to fix it and change it, update it. Clients are never going to know how to do any of that, and they're also never going to know how to find those mistakes. You're going to learn how to do that as a bookkeeper, so you will be so valuable to your client, and then you actually get to benefit from the AI. So great question, Cindy. And Margaret, yes, as soon as you're able to free up some cash flow, maybe you can pause some payments or something like that too. We'd love to have you get in there and get started and really get some traction before tax season gets here. Okay, so to dive in on the 3 marketing methods. Number 1, the first marketing method that we go over is social media marketing. And this is just all organic. We don't teach you to spend any money on social media marketing, usually no cost associated with this at all. And we just help you utilize the platforms that you're already familiar with to show you how to find and connect with business owners, whether it's on Facebook, in Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, in LinkedIn groups, Instagram, whatever you're most familiar with. And we show you how to post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So you don't have to like cold message people and things like that. Although for bookkeeping, that also does work well, reaching out to people and offering assistance for bookkeeping. But we show you how to find people that actually reach out to you. And then we help you understand how to find a bunch of people that will actually like start doing your marketing for you on social media. So for Kim, the example earlier, Kim got that first client that paid her the $9,000 cleanup job and the $2,200 monthly reoccurring, because when she followed our strategy of posting in the way that we show you on social media, one of her friends from high school saw her post, and they had a friend who Kim was not connected to, who they knew needed bookkeeping. And so that person connected them and tagged Kim in their post looking for a bookkeeper. That happens all the time. And so that can be a really quick, fast, easy, free way for you to leverage social media to get clients, which is really, really awesome. So that's the first thing. Second thing is networking groups. This is a really awesome, a different option for students. We have Terry in our academy who joined a networking group a couple months ago. And last month, she got $7,000 worth of cleanup jobs, specifically from referrals from her networking group. So there's lots of different networking groups you can join. We go over all of those in our program. The most profitable one is what's called an industry exclusive referral group. And we show you how to find those and join those and use a strategy around getting the other people in the group to actually be little marketing minions for you. When I joined this group, I made over $60,000 in my first year of being in a networking group like this. These sometimes are online, but most of the time these are local. So these would be like the one local thing that you could do. And there is usually an investment for these. So like anywhere from $500 to $800 for the year to be in this group. And it provides lots of referrals. Like I mentioned, for me, it was about $60,000 of income in the first year. Terry made $7,000 last month, literally just from the referrals she got from this group. So we show you how to have a strategy around that. You fully understand exactly how to utilize these networking groups. Also, once you start working from home as a bookkeeper, these groups can be nice because it gets you out of the house. And this kind of turned into a second little family for me, which was really awesome. I really enjoyed going every week. And the third thing that we teach you that is also super effective is how to get clients doing email marketing. So the first step we help our students with is gathering a mass list of business owners and tax offices. And we help you deploy 2 separate email campaigns. Obviously, to the business owners, we're trying to get them to book a call with you or reach out to discuss bookkeeping services. But the tax offices, what we're going to help you do is create a referral arrangement with these tax offices, so that way they send you clients all the time. Every single one of these business owners have to have their bookkeeping done in order to get the taxes done. And a lot of tax people hate doing bookkeeping, but they can't do the taxes if the bookkeeping isn't done. So, that would be really, really awesome to be able to create multiple partnerships, right? And get a load of referrals strictly from those people. So Kaylee Douglas, who I'm going to Jamaica with, she has a really awesome tax partner who is growing all the time, sends her clients all the time. We have Stephanie in our program who won our Tax Pro contest the last quarter that we did that. And she has 4 tax partnerships going right now. So especially over the next 5 to 6 months, as we really enter tax season, she's going to explode with all the referrals there. So it's really, really awesome. This can be cheap and free too, to do this manually. And we do have some software programs we recommend if you really want to hit up the masses. But so those are those 3. So I'd love to know, drop a number in the chat on which marketing method that you want to use. Type a 1 if you want to do social media, a 2 if you want to do networking groups, a 3 if you want to do email marketing, or you can just type a 4 if you're going to do all of them. So let me know. Awesome. So many people want to do 4s. Great. Yes, I will send you the webinar, Shanae. Awesome. 4. Great. Oh, good. So glad that you guys are all willing to do all of them, because that's awesome. If you do, skyrocket to success. So Mary says 3. Okay, great. The email works super well. Okay, drop an emoji in the chat if you guys are ready to see exactly what it looks like and how we deliver the support to our students to help you guys achieve all of these results. All right. Want to dive in and kind of explain the program, how it works, what you can expect, how you get results, how you get support, all that good stuff. So the first thing is we run our members only private Facebook group. This is where the majority of the support and the connection comes from. We currently, you have access to our free group more than likely, but this is a private group just for our Bookkeeper Academy students. We currently have almost 200 students in there. Most of them are in their first year, but we do have about 30 or 40 students that are in their second, third, and fourth year in the program. This is really awesome because you get to collaborate with all of the people that are growing these businesses right alongside you. You have a great sense of community. It's like having the world's best coworkers. Which is really awesome. But you also get to collaborate with all of our experienced people too that are in their second, third, and fourth years. For example, Kaylee Douglas is in this group. She also comes on and guest coaches every now and then, but you get to collaborate with her and participate with her in this group as well, which is really great. We have about 8 to 10 different team members. They're either mentors or coaches that are either experts in growing a business, doing bookkeeping, or mastering your mindset. You have access to all of these people. Hey, congrats, Amelia. She's already been approved as well. Good job. Way to take fast action. But one thing I want to point out about this Facebook group is it is not a Facebook group. It is not just a Facebook group. We treat this group like a ticketing system. So every question you post, or we call it submit, we answer every single one of them. And they can be related to any topic you can think of. So some examples are sales, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping, technical tax questions, workflow, mindset, all of that kind of stuff. So we answer those questions 6 days a week. If you ask questions between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time on any of those days, we have a 45-minute response time. That's Monday through Friday. Saturdays, we still cover. It's a little bit of a slower response time because we don't have as many questions. So we space that out a little bit. But through the week, 45 minutes, you're going to get an answer to any question that you ask. If you, for example, are working on Saturday, Sunday, in the evenings, late at night, anything like that, we still answer those questions right at the beginning of the next shift though. So nothing is ever overlooked or missed. And this is really awesome for you guys because you get a quick answer to what you need, what is keeping you stuck, and then you get to move right on to the next best task that's going to help you reach your goals in the most quick and streamlined manner possible. So you don't waste time. You can spend that extra time moving forward in your business or spend it with your family. So here's a little example of how we like grade our team and how we track everything. So the first column is like the number of tickets, the number of questions that were asked this particular week. It was 578. Out of those questions, 71% of those questions were fully answered with the first response. The response time was 42 minutes. And sometimes those questions require additional information before we feel like we can fully answer it for you. But for the remaining 29%, those were all resolved within 65 minutes, which is what our last column is there. So we really track everything. So we know you guys are getting amazing support and being able to get all the answers that you need. We also have 7 to 8 different Zoom calls every week, sometimes more. It depends on the season. When January gets here, we're going to have more Zoom calls available for everybody because it's busier during tax season and stuff like that. So, but a lot of them are scheduled through lunch break time. Some of them are scheduled in the evening. Most of them are open general Q&A. Some of them are topic specific, like on Mondays and Fridays, we have specifically mindset, overcoming your mindset blocks, what's stopping you from taking action on the next step in your business. We help you move past all of those things. So the calls can last anywhere from 60 minutes to 120 minutes or more, just depending on the number of people that are on, the volume of questions. Every question is welcome, and we stay on until everybody is feeling great. We also have a client success director that works one-on-one with you over email. She helps you stay accountable to your specific goals. So everybody in our program, they all have different goals, and we help make sure that you're taking the action that you need to reach your goals, not anyone else's goals, yours. So you'll be able to work one-on-one with her over email. And the great thing about her is that when you get into our academy, you're going to have access to loads of coursework, tons of stuff, even a full-fledged course on taxes. It's not going to be the best use of your time to go through all of this coursework right from the beginning, because it's going to slow down your results. So what we like for you to do is leverage the client success director. And whenever something comes up and you're like, ooh, I'm not sure if I know enough about this, let her know, let our head of education know, and they will direct you to the coursework that is going to be the most beneficial for you to watch at that point in time. So typically what we see when people come in, and yes, Margaret, all of the Zoom calls are recorded and you get to go back and access those later. The access to the recorded calls are available to all current Academy members. So if you decide to renew in year 2, year 3, you'll still have access to all of those. Maria says, how can I register? So if you are interested in the funding and you're ready to apply, you can do that right now. Let me drop a link in here, Maria, for you to fill out a funding interest form. So that way you can fill that out and we can get you the information you need. All right, so this is kind of what the journey looks like. If you guys are kind of curious about this, usually the first couple of weeks in the academy, our students are learning how to set up their business back office. They're learning the basics of bookkeeping and the basics of business ownership. They're learning how to provide amazing service to their clients. This will arm you with the information to be able to communicate intelligently with a potential client. You're going to know how to conduct a potential client discovery call. And so now you're going to be ready to develop your marketing plan. So usually week 3 and 4 is getting that marketing plan started, getting it planned out and starting to initiate it, getting feedback from our team if anything needs to be fixed or tweaked or whatever in that. And then we usually see our students start to enroll their first couple of clients in their second month. So, somewhere around week 5, 6, something like that. Now, we have had a lot of students that have just started marketing right from day 1 and get clients a lot faster. But on average, this is typically what we see because people want to do a little bit of setup in the beginning time. And once you get your first few clients, we help you with understanding how to do the cleanup jobs, the onboarding, doing the monthly work. And then from there, months 3 through 12 is rinsing and repeating the process and constantly getting feedback. So from here, you're going to get experience working with clients in various industries and be able to become an expert bookkeeper in whatever industry comes your way. So that we're going to provide that safety net as you're learning all these different industries. And we're going to help you set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you the financial location and time freedom that you're looking for. So one thing that I ended up skipping over because of all of the questions was, let's see. Where did it go? Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we stopped here, and I want to make sure you guys totally understand again how this works, the science behind it. And yes, Rachel, we're going to teach you exactly how to use QuickBooks. We're going to assume that you don't know how to use that and that you don't know anything about bookkeeping. So you will be fully supported and covered in learning all of those things. So I want you guys to understand too, the science behind a bookkeeping business and what you're going to learn and how you're going to make this so profitable. So the first key pillar that makes all of these results in this bookkeeping business work out the way it does, where you can make $100 and sometimes even $200 an hour with your bookkeeping business, is these key pillars. And the first one is knowing how to properly quote your clients. So we're going to teach you how to do that. Also, our Academy members get access to our quoting tool, where we show you what questions to ask your client. You input the answers into the quoting tool, and it gives you a price of what you should be charging your client. Now, these are going to be based on the size of the client, the industry, how organized the client is. We know, because we base off of revenue, that we know that these clients can afford these prices, and they are going to be fixed monthly fees that you're able to charge your clients. Now, what's cool about that is your client gets to budget that. And then as you are doing the work and over time getting even more and more efficient, your rate stays the same, but you're spending less time. So if you take the amount of money you're charging your client, divide it by the amount of hours that you're actually spending doing the bookkeeping work, that's how it comes out to be over $100 an hour. And you don't actually have to even tell your client what your hourly rate is, because it's all being built into this fixed monthly fee that you get to charge them. So in the Bookkeeper Academy, we help you understand how to charge every single client that you have that comes your way. So over time, you quote 10, 20, 30 different people. You're really going to understand how to quote in the future. And that way, that's like one of the most important key pillars into having this financial freedom, is really getting that down. And it can be a challenge to really understand how to quote people at first. So we will review every single quote that you have and give you feedback on that. Sylvia was in our academy, and she had a construction client, had never worked in the construction industry before. And she came to the call and said, "Hey, I think I'm going to quote this guy $500. What do you guys think? Here's all the details." And our team was like, well, because of this, this, and this, I would actually raise that to $1,000 a month. And she was like, "Ooh, I've never quoted anyone $1,000 a month. But okay, I'll present this to him." And so she did. The guy said yes, because he understood that it was going to be a lot of work, that it was valuable to him. And so because of that, Sylvia was able to charge her client an extra $500 every month that she wouldn't have charged him. Then she would have had to dig in and get through all of the work, and then felt resentful because it would have been more work than she was expecting. So we helped her avoid all of that, but we also helped her with that one interaction. Assuming she only has this client for 1 year, she's going to make an extra $6,000 per year on this client, just from having that one interaction with us. And most of the time, you're going to keep your clients for years and years and years. When I sold my bookkeeping business, some of those people had been my clients for over 4 years, which was really awesome. So that's the first key pillar, is really understanding how to properly quote. But the second one is knowing how to do the work efficiently and knowing how to set boundaries around your clients. So if they start to ask you to do other things that maybe aren't really included in the scope of work that you originally agreed on, we can show you how to have those conversations, how to, give them a new quote for new services, but also really show you how to streamline the work you're doing, leverage that AI that we were talking about earlier, so you can get this stuff done really quickly, really fast, and not spin your wheels wheels and waste a bunch of time doing busy work or things that really aren't important. So the proper quoting and the efficient workflow coupled together, that's how you guys end up making a minimum of $100 an hour when you do your bookkeeping business. But the other thing, when we teach you how to quote and how to do the workflow, we are doing that because we are going to help you build this business with the end in mind. So there's a couple of things that we have thought about that you guys wouldn't really know going into this from the beginning that we're going to help you structure your business in a way where these things are going to come into play and you're not going to have any problems or hiccups. So the first one is someday you may decide, hey, I want to hire employees. When you first start your business, you may not be thinking that, but we want to be thinking that for you so that you are set up for success should you decide at some point in the future to hire them. So the great thing about employees in a bookkeeping business is we want you to still be able to hire them, pay them, but also still have a bunch of profit left over for you. So if you take a look at this chart from earlier and you scroll down to the bottom, it says if you want to work a 40-hour work week, you can handle the client revenue that equals $20,000 per month. So that means if you hire somebody to work in your business for you and you have them work full-time 40 hours a week, they can handle the workload for $20,000 per month worth of clients. Now, the going rate for a full-time bookkeeper right now is around $4,000 to $5,000 per month. So for easy math, we'll just round up and say, let's say you pay this full-time person $5,000 per month. Because of the way we teach you how to quote, and because of the efficient way that they can get the work done for these clients, you are still going to profit $15,000 per month for every full-time employee that you have on your team. So even as you hire team members, you're going to still have a very healthy profit and monthly income and still be able to maintain the schedule and work-life balance you desire, even as you scale your business beyond, $20,000 per month. So this is the number one thing. And until you hire employees, before that, you get the best of both worlds. You get to get the money that you would have normally paid somebody else, plus you also get your business profit. So then you get a double whammy there. But know that your business then can sustain hiring full-time people if you set it up the way we teach you. And then the last thing is these bookkeeping businesses are super great retirement plans because of the way that these are structured with the reoccurring revenue and the high profit margin after hiring employees, and the fact that we can actually over time build you out of doing the day-to-day. Investors love buying bookkeeping businesses. So at some point in the future, you may not be planning on it now, but you may decide to sell your business like I did. And in that case, we want to make sure that you are set up for success so that you can get the most out of it. So these bookkeeping businesses sometimes sell from anywhere to 1 to 2 times their annual revenue. So for example, if you have a small business where you're making $200,000 per year, you can actually sell your business for $200,000. If you have a larger business, let's say you work it over the next 4 or 5 years, and now you're making $1 million a year. You could potentially sell that business for double that. I have a friend that it makes a little over $1 million a year in her accounting firm, and she got an offer for $2.2 million to buy her business. So really awesome. This is like a retirement plan in and of itself. I have a student named Lacey who is literally building her business as fast as she possibly can so that in 5 years she can sell it and her husband can retire and travel all over the world. So it's really, really exciting. There's so many things you can do with it. And that is one thing that we help you do as well, to build with the end in mind for your business. So that's kind of the science behind why all this works out so incredibly well. And I wanted to make sure we covered that too. So anybody have any questions on that? Anybody funding appointment, call booked? Awesome, man. All of you guys are going to get onboarded today. This is great. You guys are such fast action takers. I love it. So any questions? What other questions can I answer? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. For those of you that are still on here, have questions about funding, let me know if you need the link. I can drop it again here in the chat. 5 minutes to apply. You should know within max a couple of hours if you are pre-approved for regular funding, or if you're approved immediately for our guaranteed funding, you can literally book your call today, make your down payment, get into the program before the end of the day, because it's still early. It's only noon here. So we've got plenty of time to get you guys in, and I'm super excited. We also are, like I mentioned at the beginning, going to Jamaica with a couple of our students to celebrate their success. So we won't be here on Saturday or next Thursday or next Saturday. So we'll be back on the 26th is our next webinar. But of course, you guys feel free to text us and let us know. Sean should be texting you, but if you don't get a text message from him, please shoot him a message and we can drop that number in here again. I think I have it right here, so I'm going to drop it in here. Here is the number to text Sean. If you have questions and want to talk to us directly, we're always happy to answer any questions, and we'll send this replay out to everybody as well. And if you guys are thinking about applying for funding, but you're not quite ready to do it yet, maybe you need to secure your down payment, I'm going to give you this form that you can fill out so we can reach out to you when you're ready. It's a funding interest form. You're welcome to fill that out. However, if you are ready to apply and you're going to have your down payment ready to go sometime, at least either today or within the next week, go ahead and apply on that link and we can get you enrolled ASAP. So let's see, I think I got a couple more questions here. Rachel. Okay, Rachel, do you see the funding form in the chat? Did you get access to that now? Sean, if you have Rachel Lopez's number, you can text her the funding form as well. And Margaret says, do you happen to know the range of what the down payments could be? Yes, so if you have good credit, you could pay as little as $290 down. And actually, if you get approved through traditional funding routes, you actually won't have to make a payment for 30 days. So, but if you go through the guaranteed approval process, the down payment would be $640, and that one does have to be paid like today, the day that you book your call with the funding specialist. So, but if you do, Margaret, if you do have good credit, really good credit, you could get approved and you actually may not have to make the down payment for 30 days. So that would give you some traction to get in now. So if you have a credit score of 600 or higher, and you have a W-2 that shows at least $35,000 worth of income, you could get approved through the traditional routes. So that would be something to help you get started. Yes, Rachel, can you text Sean there? Awesome. So Margaret, same funding link. You can go through that same link to apply, and we can just stay in touch with you and let you know if you get approved through the traditional routes. Then you'll be able to go through all of that, and then you won't have to make a payment for 30 days. And we'll let you know if you get approved through the guaranteed route, then it'll be the $640 down. So you can decide at that point to push your call out a little bit later if you need to work on gathering those funds. So great question. You guys all had really awesome questions. This was super fun. I love how interactive it was today from everybody. This has been awesome. And, let us know if you guys have any questions. You guys are always also welcome to email us in case we have any issues with the text messages going through like they are with Jen. There is my email address if anybody wants to shoot me an email. Oh, yes. And Canadians, let me grab the Canada link. We've got a different link for Canadians. So, and it is different. Just submitted the funding interest form. I can't commit now, but we'll definitely in November. Okay, that's great, Peta. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to type in Canadian funding. There's different funding laws in Canada, so we aren't able to do the guaranteed approval in that. It's going to go more towards like traditional funding, traditional financing, traditional loan options. So if you are in Canada, you'll use this particular link. Unless you have a US-based address, then you can use our other link. But if any of you are applying through the Canadian link, let us know so we can make sure we follow up with the lender on that process too and stay in communication with you. So great question. And I look forward to some of you guys that are going to be coming in November. We look forward to working with you then. And for those of you coming in now, we're super stoked and ready to get rolling. This is going to be great. Jen says, thank you so much for today. I'm super pumped, excited, and can't wait for my call tomorrow. Awesome. I'm so excited as well. It's going to be great. All right. Well, I will let you guys all go. Please don't hesitate to reach out, email, text us, reach out to us on Facebook if you have any questions, especially if you don't hear from Sean, because he's going to be texting all of you. And if for some reason it doesn't go through, let us know. Please let us know so we can answer all the questions that you have. And we look forward to either seeing you on the academy, or seeing you on our next webinar on the 26th. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye, guys.